opening a restaurant in March 2020 was unlikely timing. But 3 years on, can the pandemic still be blamed for an empty dining room? When Julio Santana and his sister Debbie opened El Cantito in Yonkers, New York, they were excited to serve authentic Puerto Rican food to the local community. And their guests loved tasting their grandmother's recipes, but only for 5 days. When the hospitality industry shut down, their life savings invested in the restaurant were at risk. And when everything reopened, they couldn't find their way back on track, or afford to replace broken air conditioners.
Our AC system broke down last summer.
Have you guys ever been to Puerto Rico though?
No.
This is what it feels like.
They are also stuck with broken kitchen equipment, including refrigerators, which is affecting the freshness of their ingredients.
What's that? That was a lemon.
Julio is struggling to stay positive, and their customers are struggling to stomach the overseasoned and undercooked food they are served.
Like the whole beef and chicken were dry.
I just want this day to be over.
Debbie has been forced to take a second job, and Julio is close to crumbling. They are desperate for help, so they've asked Gordon to step in. When Chef Ramsay arrives at El Cantito, he is looking forward to sampling the exciting island flavors he enjoyed during visits to Puerto Rico. Debbie greets him and finds him a table. With the air conditioning broken, Gordon instantly feels the heat, but not in a good way. And he's not getting the color and flavor of the island from the bland decor. The server tells Gordon that Julio's food is a 10 out of 10, so he's hoping the experience is about to improve. That is, until Debbie shares that Julio has never trained as a chef, or worked as one, before they open their restaurant. When the first dishes arrive, they look uninspiring. The empanadas are oily and bland, and the bacalaitos are also far too greasy. Next up is a ceviche. The color and flavor of the shrimp are wrong. They are gray, watery, and taste frozen. Gordon is disappointed that they don't live up to Julio's promise of flavors from his grandmother's kitchen.
Well, this does taste like my grandma's kitchen, except my grandma's dead.
Ramsay and the other diners certainly don't rate their food a 10. While Gordon digs into his whole red snapper, he realizes the fins haven't been removed, and the fish hasn't even been seasoned. The bland fish is sent back to the kitchen, leaving Julio feeling deflated. As Gordon chats to the waiter, a diner from a nearby table runs to the bathroom, where he is violently sick.
You just thrown up in the bathroom. What did you eat?
Chicken chunks, and it was raw, like bloody.
The next table has also been served raw meat. Ramsay very calmly tells the team to shut the restaurant down. When the customers have left, Gordon calls Julio out to the dining room and asks how he could send uncooked chicken to his customers. He tells the siblings that there is no Puerto Rican passion in the food, and asks to see the recipes. Julio admits they're all in his head. Debbie concedes that the food isn't the same as it was when they first opened, and she wouldn't hire her brother based on his performance now. Ramsay is concerned that Julio has given up. When he comes back to observe a service, he wants to see Julio's love of cooking once again. The next day, the restaurant is busy, and the kitchen team is struggling to work around each other in the small space. With such a tight area, Gordon can't work out why there's a big gap between one of the units and the wall.
The gap behind there, what happened?
Well, going back and forth was a challenge for me, and when you had
Going back and forth was a challenge.
Gordon points out that Julio's laziness has created a tougher workspace, and all so he can save half a second. Though food is going out, the kitchen is almost silent, with the chefs working together without speaking. Diners aren't happy. The chicken chunks contain bones, and, like Gordon, they find the bacalaitos far too greasy. When he returns to the kitchen, Gordon spots frozen shrimp soaking in cold water. Chef Ramsay points out that defrosting them that way leaves them watery and flavorless, and Julio admits it's sloppy practice. Gordon wants a second opinion, so he invites renowned Puerto Rican chef Omi Hopper, star of Next Level Chef, to dine in disguise along with a table of friends. When her food arrives, she is disappointed by the amount of oil the fried foods were coated in. And the oil is a problem in the kitchen too, as it's dripping onto the floor, causing a dangerous slip hazard and a serious fire hazard. Julio tells Gordon that the ledge over the oven is cleaned every 3 months, which is nowhere near often enough, as the celebrity chef proves when he wipes a cloth along the top. Now that he is concerned about hygiene standards, Gordon asks to check out the walk-in, which is down in the basement. As soon as he gets down the stairs, Ramsay is hit by a terrible smell. There's definitely something in the air. Along with fresh fruit on top of moldy fruit, he finds raw meat on top of vegetables, and racks of fatty ribs that are literally frozen solid. Rotten ham is the last straw for the furious chef. For the second time in 2 days, he shuts the restaurant down, but this time, he's a lot less calm.
Ask those customers politely to get out of there now. Now!
With the dining room empty, Gordon tells Julio he has no respect for his customers and will have to fight to keep his restaurant alive. A tearful Julio confirms to Debbie that he wants to make the restaurant great again. His sister tells him that she believes in him, and she's proved that by investing all her savings into him and the business. Gordon invites the owners to meet their mystery diner, and Omi removes her disguise before telling them their greasy dishes aren't a good reflection of Puerto Rico.
If that is someone's first experience eating Puerto Rican food, would they come back?
Julio admits that his mother would have been embarrassed by his food that evening, and is determined to make Omi proud when she returns for the relaunch. He once again thanks his sister for her support and promises to bring back the passion. Overnight, Gordon's team renovates the restaurant, adding tropical color to the decor and cooling things down with a brand new air conditioning unit. Among the beach-themed details, he's added a picture of Julio and Debbie's mother in pride of place on the wall to remind them to make her proud every day. In the kitchen, the units have been moved back against the walls to create more space, and there's a new rotisserie and refrigerated salad bar. It's time to taste the food. Gordon has updated the siblings' family recipes with modern ingredients to create a light, colorful menu. The dishes remain traditional, but have been given a contemporary twist. Debbie is overjoyed with the authentic flavors, and Julio is excited to get back into the kitchen, following Gordon's tips to prepare the dishes perfectly. When the doors open for the relaunch, the dining room quickly fills up with Gordon's invited guests. Orders come in, and an energized Julio works well with his sous chef to send out perfectly presented plates. The diners love the food, and everything is going well. But as the restaurant gets busier, mistakes start to creep in. Julio has stopped communicating with his team, and dishes are being missed, including on special guest Omi's table. With a few calming words from Gordon, Julio finds his feet once again, and service is back on track. Chef Ramsay is excited for the future, calling the restaurant a jewel. He's confident that the siblings are ready to embrace the challenge ahead of them. Over the next few weeks, Julio embraces the updated menu, and Debbie runs a tight ship in the busy dining room. They are all set to continue their family's legacy of sharing delicious, authentic Puerto Rican food, as long as Julio doesn't let standards slip. Gordon visited El Cantito in June 2023, a little over 3 years after the restaurant had first opened during the 2020 pandemic. 3 months after his visit, Julio and Debbie took part in an online interview, where they briefly discussed Ramsay's visit.
I was happy to be able to cook with Gordon Ramsay. It was exciting. He renovated also my kitchen.
Julio shared that, along with expanding the kitchen, the biggest change had been reducing the size of the menu. Gordon had suggested the change to better suit the 25-seater restaurant's small kitchen space, reducing the pressure on the team. Though over time, Julio apparently changed his mind about that, admitting that he added dishes back to the menu. In promotional interviews for the show, Julio also told reporters that Gordon hadn't changed the food at all. We're not sure that Gordon would agree with that. The new dishes didn't need grease poured off them for a start. Reviews immediately after Gordon's visit were mixed. Many diners seemed to enjoy the food, finding the flavors to be exciting and authentic. But others complained about high prices and small portion sizes, which hadn't been mentioned before. There was no obvious upturn, though previously the reviews had been pretty good, averaging around 4 out of 5 stars. As their episode's air date in November 2023 got closer, Debbie and Julio planned a viewing party to celebrate and got busy selling tickets. But when they advertised the party, there was one strange detail that we've never seen before. The viewing party wasn't taking place at El Cantito. Instead, it would be held at their venue partner, El Patio restaurant in Mount Vernon. El Patio is a popular Dominican food van with a small patio seating area. Within a week or two, the plan changed, and the party was back at El Cantito, where guests were promised samples of the food that had impressed Gordon, along with behind-the-scenes secrets from Debbie and Julio. The viewing party sold out, and when the episode was broadcast, El Cantito received the local exposure they had been hoping for. Viewers of the show sympathized with the siblings, and in particular Julio, who they repeatedly described as decent and hardworking. And though the food hygiene was poor, fans always love it when Gordon shuts down a kitchen. And El Cantito got shut down twice. In fact, they were used to it. One of the reasons the pair was struggling financially was that when they finally reopened fully after the pandemic, they were quickly shut down again because they had been holding drag shows without having a valid cabaret license. Julio and Debbie managed to make the most of their 15 minutes of fame, quickly organizing a cooking class with their mystery diner turned mentor, Omi. Some viewers questioned whether the disguise she used for her visit was really necessary, but others pointed out that she has over 600,000 TikTok followers who enjoyed her Puerto Rican cooking, and that may well have included the Santana family. Things seemed to be going well for El Cantito. A year after Gordon's visit, the restaurant was rated 4.4 on Google, and the team was one of just 30 New York restaurants to win a 2024 Rising Restaurateur Award, which comes with a grant of up to $10,000. They closed out the year with an ugly sweater party at the cafe, and planned to make 2025 even bigger and brighter. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. On April 10th, 2025, Julio and Debbie took to their Facebook page to announce the closure of the restaurant. It had managed to stay open for 5 years, and lasted for almost 2 years after Chef Ramsay's visit. While we're not sure what Debbie's plans are for the future, we're sure her family would be proud of the unwavering support she showed her brother. And it seems that Julio is planning to stay in the kitchen. In their closure announcement, he shared his plans to offer catering and private dining. We wish the family the best of luck with all their future ventures, and hope that Puerto Rican passion serves them well.